So our New York Jets have re-signed Ty Johnson, and I know a lot of people get really frustrated with that because people were hoping he got cut last year. People are tired of him. They don't like him. They remember the three dropped passes in a row during the 2021 season. How could we forget? I also remember a pretty good touchdown run last year and some pretty good runs and some power running that helped our team last year. But look, let's face it, Ty Johnson is not a key part of the Jets offense. He's not a very critical or important piece. It's not like this is the best JD could do. This is simply filling the roster. And it's filling it with a veteran player who knows the system and has been around, familiarity, continuity. Look, I don't expect him to play a big role. I think that Michael Carter and Bam Knight are going to hold down the fort until Breece Hall is ready. Breece Hall might be ready week 1. We don't know that. He might get pupped. That means he'll play week 7. He might play week 1, but not be the same guy. But I mean, look to Michael Carter and to Bam Knight. I know a lot of people think, oh, Michael Carter had a bad year. That had to do with the offensive line. The reality is, Breece Hall is the only running back before his injury on our team that is so good. He's the only one at that level that even with a poor offensive line is still elite. The other guys depend on the line. We get Becton back if that happens. If we're healthy on the offensive line, if we draft a good center or sign Jones and get good play from our center position, if AVT comes back strong, maybe we draft a tackle with our 13th pick, Roderick Jones, someone like that. If our offensive line plays well, guys like Michael Carter, Bam Knight, and even Ty Johnson will be fine. They'll be fine. They're not going to be what Breece Hall is, though, because Breece Hall is franchise altering. That's the difference. Meaning, even when the blocking is not that fine, he still is. He's one of those special kind of players. Now, we have to hope he recovers from the ACL completely. Most do. It takes time. Some people, it takes a year. Some people, it takes half a year, like of playing until they start looking like themselves. We all saw Saquon Barkley have a great year last year. It took him some time. It didn't take Adrian Peterson that much time. And people will jump and say, well, that's Adrian Peterson. Well, I'm saying this is Breece Hall. Just because he hasn't had time or the opportunity to accomplish the things that Adrian Peterson did doesn't mean he won't. Now, people are going to say, how could you compare him to Adrian Peterson? How could you compare any future or young-looking star to any great player? Obviously, until they actually perform and become that player, you look stupid or ridiculous or people criticize you for comparing. Well, I'm going to say this. He was a rookie who was averaging 5.6 yards a carry and a lot of times had the entire defense chasing him. He looked like he was going to be pretty elite to me. Does any of this have to do with how fast you heal from an ACL? I don't know. I know that Breece Hall is on a treadmill running. That was even 6 weeks ago to 2 months ago. So imagine where he is now. JD thinks he's recovering fine and is going to be ready for the start of the season. So, look, I'm going to keep best hopes. And I think that Ty Johnson is a move. We need to have 3 running backs that we know solid aside from Breece Hall, because Breece Hall, until he's actually playing and completely better and recovered, you need to have 3 running backs on the roster. And that's what we just did by re-signing and bringing back Ty Johnson. It's not a horrible move. It's not the end of the world. I know people are throwing some free agent names out there, but at the end of the day, we're talking about RB4. We really are RB3 at most. I mean, you're talking about a backup running back. You're talking about a guy that comes after Michael Carter and Bam Knight, or Bam Knight and Michael Carter, whichever order you choose. We're not talking about a critical part of the team here. So they're going to go with continuity. They're going to go with a guy who obviously has a very good locker room presence, Ty Johnson. So he's back, whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, yell at me in the comments and let me know. I can always count on you to do that. And if you love it, tell me that too in the comments. Like the video, watch this video I made the other day. It's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good video right there about a new player that we added to the team from Kansas City Chiefs. You probably know about it. So if you haven't seen the video about it, you might want to watch it. And until then, go Jets.